Waking up with mouth as dry as parchment is not merely a nuisance you should sweep under the rug, especially once you have crossed the threshold of 60 years. Many of my patients describe it as waking up in a desert, with a tongue that feels like sandpaper against the roof of their mouth, yet they often dismiss it as just another annoying part of aging. If you are experiencing this, I want you to pause and listen closely, because your body is likely whispering a warning that you cannot afford to ignore any longer. This dryness is often the first silent signal of metabolic shifts, hidden dehydration, or even early markers of conditions that impact your heart and your longevity. Before we dive into the 5 critical signs your body is displaying, I want to invite you to join our growing community of health-conscious individuals dedicated to vitality in their later years. Please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And while you are at it, let me know in the comments below if you have noticed this morning dryness becoming a frequent companion in your life. My name is Dr. Harrison Blake, and for the last 15 years, I have dedicated my career to untangling the complexities of internal medicine and metabolic health. My goal here is simple: to transform the way you perceive your own body, moving from a state of passive observation to active, evidence-based management of your wellness. I have seen thousands of patients navigate these exact waters, and I know that when we strip away the medical jargon, the human body is actually an incredibly transparent communicator. It speaks to us through small, persistent signals. When we ignore these signals, we leave the door open for larger problems like cholesterol imbalances, metabolic syndrome, and systemic inflammation. Today, we are going to unpack why that morning dryness happens, the 5 specific signs you must watch for, and how to address them with practical, science-backed habits that fit into your daily routine. Let us start by understanding why the mouth dries out in the first place. Saliva is not just water. It is a complex cocktail of digestive enzymes, protective proteins, and minerals designed to keep your oral environment balanced and your throat healthy. As we age, the production of these secretions can naturally decline, but it is rarely a symptom of aging alone. It is usually a systemic ripple effect. When your blood sugar fluctuates, or when your lipid profile becomes skewed, your kidneys work overtime to filter your blood, which often leads to increased fluid loss. Think of it like a radiator in a car. If there's a leak in the cooling system, the engine does not just get hot, it gets damaged. Your body is trying to balance its internal chemistry, and the dryness in your mouth is the warning light on the dashboard. The first sign that your body is sending you is the presence of persistent, unexplained thirst throughout the day, even after you think you have hydrated enough. If you find yourself reaching for a glass of water every hour despite having a bottle at your desk, this is a sign that your body is having trouble retaining that water. In those over 60, this often points toward early fluctuations in blood glucose. When sugar levels rise, even slightly above the optimal range, your body pulls water from your tissues to help flush the excess sugar out through your urine. This is a physiological trade-off. You lose systemic hydration to protect your vessels from the damage of excess sugar. If you are waking up dry and spending your day chasing thirst, it is time to look at your carbohydrate intake and how your body processes energy. The second sign is the quality of your sleep. If you wake up and your mouth feels like it has been through a furnace, but you also feel exhausted despite having been in bed for 8 hours, you might be dealing with mouth breathing during the night. This often happens because of airway resistance or mild sleep apnea, conditions that become more common after 60. When you breathe through your mouth while you sleep, you are essentially dehydrating your oral mucosa all night long. This is not just about a dry mouth. It is about oxygenation. If your brain is not getting consistent, high-quality oxygen throughout the night, your metabolism slows down, your cortisol levels spike in the morning, and you start your day in a state of stress rather than recovery. This directly impacts your heart health by keeping it in a state of high alert during hours meant for repair. The third sign relates to your tongue and your gums. Do you notice a white, fuzzy coating on your tongue when you wake up? Or perhaps your gums feel tender, swollen, or bleed easily when you brush. Saliva is a natural cleanser. Without enough of it, the bacteria in your mouth can proliferate, leading to what we call oral dysbiosis. This is not just a dental issue. There is an undeniable, scientifically validated connection between oral health and cardiovascular health. Bacteria from the mouth can enter the bloodstream and contribute to arterial inflammation, which is a major driver of cholesterol buildup. If your mouth is dry, those bacteria are not being washed away, and they are essentially setting up camp in your system. Keeping your mouth hydrated is a primary defense against systemic inflammation. The fourth sign is the texture of your skin and the appearance of your eyes. While we are focusing on the mouth, your body is a single, integrated system. If your salivary glands are struggling, your skin and eyes are likely telling the same story. Dry, itchy skin and eyes that feel gritty or tired are systemic manifestations of the same process that is drying out your mouth. This often happens when your lipid profile, specifically your HDL, the good cholesterol, is not functioning as well as it should. HDL is responsible for transporting vital nutrients and helping with cellular repair. When our metabolic markers are off, the fluid regulation across our cellular membranes becomes inefficient, and the outward signs of this manifest in these sensitive mucosal areas. The fifth and final sign is a subtle but telling one: a persistent change in your palate or a metallic taste in your mouth upon waking. This can often be a sign of medication interactions or a reaction to the metabolic byproduct of a diet that is high in processed fats and sugars. Many people over 60 are on medications for blood pressure or cholesterol, and one of the most common yet overlooked side effects of these medications is a reduction of saliva production. If you are noticing a change in taste, it is time to have a conversation with your healthcare team about your medications and your hydration strategy. Do not simply accept the dryness as a new normal. Your body is telling you that your current state of balance is being disrupted, and it is asking for a change in strategy. Now that we have identified these 5 signs, you might be wondering what you can actually do about it. The solution is rarely found in a single pill, but rather in a series of small, consistent changes. First, focus on the quality of your hydration. It is not just about the volume of water. It is about the electrolytes. Adding a small pinch of high-quality sea salt to your water can help your cells actually absorb the hydration rather than simply passing it through your kidneys. Second, look at your evening routine. Avoid heavy, high-carbohydrate meals within 3 hours of going to sleep. This keeps your blood sugar stable overnight, preventing that morning surge that leads to dehydration. Third, consider the environment of your bedroom. Using a humidifier can significantly reduce the drying effect of the air on your oral tissues while you sleep. It is also vital to audit your intake of processed foods. When we talk about cholesterol and triglycerides, we are often talking about the fuel we provide to our body. High sugar and high processed fat foods create an inflammatory cascade that impacts your entire system, including your salivary glands. By shifting toward whole, nutrient-dense foods, leafy greens, healthy fats like avocado and olive oil, and lean proteins, you are providing the building blocks your body needs to maintain homeostasis. You are essentially telling your body that it does not need to work so hard to process waste, which allows your system to return to a more balanced, naturally hydrated state. Think about your health as a garden. You cannot ignore the soil quality and expect the plants to thrive. The dryness in your mouth is like the parched soil in that garden. It is telling you that the irrigation system is failing. If you ignore it, the garden withers. But if you pay attention, if you nurture the soil, your body, with the right nutrients, the right amount of movement, and enough rest, the vitality returns. It is not about turning back the clock. It is about optimizing the time you have right now. You have the power to change these metrics. You have the ability to influence your blood work, your energy levels, and your daily comfort through these simple, intentional choices. As we wrap up this discussion, I want you to remember that your body is on your side. It is not trying to make you miserable. It is trying to communicate its needs. That dry mouth is a signal, a nudge, a request for recalibration. Take that request seriously. Talk to your doctor about these signs, especially if you're on medication, and start making those small, daily adjustments in your diet and hydration habits. You will be surprised at how quickly the body responds when it is finally heard. Thank you for spending this time with me today. It is truly a pleasure to help you navigate these important aspects of your health. If you found this information helpful, please share with a friend or family member who might also be experiencing these same signs. We are stronger and healthier when we support one another in our journey toward longevity and wellness. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more evidence-based insights on how you can take control of your health at any age. I read every comment. So please leave your thoughts on what you find most helpful in managing your health, or ask any questions you have about the signs we discuss today. Until next time, stay curious, stay active, and take care of the body that carries you through this life. Now, while we have established the foundational importance of hydration and biological signaling, I want to take a deeper dive into mechanics of what happens when we ignore these subtle cues. Many people treat their health as an afterthought, something to be managed only when a crisis erupts. This reactionary approach is costly, both in terms of longevity and quality of life. When you feel that persistent dryness in your mouth, it is rarely an isolated event. It is often the tip of a much larger systemic iceberg. Consider, for instance, the intricate relationship between your oral microbiome and your overall inflammatory response. The mouth is the gateway to your internal ecosystem. When saliva production drops, that ecosystem loses its first line of defense. The beneficial bacteria that should be flourishing are suddenly struggling against an environment that has become too acidic or too stagnant. This is not just about discomfort while speaking or swallowing. It is about the integrity of your entire digestive tract. Let's explore the role of electrolytes in a more technical yet accessible way. It is a common misconception that simply drinking water is enough. If you are drinking vast quantities of plain, filtered water, but your body lacks the essential minerals like magnesium, potassium, and sodium to pull that moisture into the cells, you are essentially washing away your nutrients. It is like pouring water onto a sponge that has become hydrophobic from lack of use. The water just slides off. To effectively rehydrate, you must consider the cellular environment. Real hydration happens inside the cell, not in the bloodstream. If you are constantly feeling thirsty despite high water intake, you might not need more water. You might need more structure in your electrolyte intake. This is something that gets overlooked in standard medical advice, which often centers on volume rather than quality. Think about the way chronic stress impacts this process. When your nervous system is stuck in the fight or flight mode, your body prioritizes immediate, survival-based functions. Digestion, salivation, and cellular repair are considered non-essential in a perceived life or death scenario. This is why you might notice your mouth feeling like sandpaper during high-pressure work meetings or intense emotional arguments. Your parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for the rest and digest state, is being sidelined. Chronic stress effectively dehydrates you from the inside out by locking your glands in a state of suspended animation. If you want to fix the dryness, you must address the stress. Meditation, deep breathing, or even just taking a brief walk in nature can downregulate your cortisol levels, allowing your body to resume its normal, healthy secretions. Furthermore, let's talk about the aging process with a sense of clarity rather than fear. As we get older, our bodies naturally lose their thirst sensitivity. This is a cruel biological irony. Just as our tissues require more consistent hydration to remain supple and functional, our internal signals become quieter. We stop feeling the urgency to drink until we are already in a state of mild dehydration. This is where habit stacking becomes your most powerful tool. Do not wait for the alarm bell of thirst. Instead, integrate hydration into your existing rituals. Have a glass of mineral-rich water the moment you wake up, before your feet even touch the floor. Pair your lunch with a hydrating herbal tea. Make these actions mindless, repetitive, and non-negotiable. By automating the process, you remove the reliance on the fading signals of your own biology. It is also worth noting the impact of environmental factors that we often dismiss as benign. The air quality in our homes, the artificial heating and cooling systems, and the pollutants we are exposed on a daily basis all contribute to rapid moisture loss. If you find your symptoms worsening in the winter, it is likely that your indoor humidity levels are working against you. Investing in a simple hygrometer to track the humidity in your living space can be a revelation. Maintaining an indoor humidity level between 40 and 60% is not just for comfort. It is a vital health intervention that protects your skin, your sinuses, and your oral health. We often look for complex, expensive solutions to our health woes, forgetting that the most effective interventions are often the ones that restore balance to our physical environment. There's another layer to this, and it concerns the medications that so many of us rely on as we age. Whether it is blood pressure medication, antihistamines, or antidepressants, pharmaceutical interventions often carry side effects that directly compromise the integrity of our mucous membranes. If you are currently feeling frustrated by persistent physical symptoms, look at your medicine cabinet. Have a conversation with your pharmacist or doctor about the potential for dry mouth or systemic dehydration as a side effect. Often, a slight adjustment in timing or dosage, or the addition of supportive nutrients, can mitigate these effects without requiring you to discontinue life-saving treatment. The key is advocacy. Important thing you can do for your long-term health. It transforms health from a chore into a practice of self-respect. As we reach the final stretch of our time together, I want to leave you with a sense of optimism. The body is remarkably resilient. It is constantly working to repair, restore, and maintain its own systems. Even if you have spent years ignoring these signs, it is never too late to begin the process of recalibration. The cells you have today are not the same ones you had a decade ago. You are literally building a new version of yourself every single day based on the choices you make in this moment. Choose to prioritize your hydration. Choose to manage your stress. And choose to listen to the quiet, subtle cues that your body sends you. You are the architect of your own vitality. It is a slow, steady process of bricklaying, where each glass of water, each moment of rest, and each inquiry into your own health serves as a foundation for a future where you're not just surviving, but thriving. This is the legacy you leave yourself. This is the ultimate act of self-care. I encourage you to take these insights and apply them starting today. Not tomorrow, not on Monday, but right now. Go get a glass of water, breathe deeply, and reestablish that essential connection with your inner self. You deserve to feel vibrant. You deserve to flourish. And you have every tool necessary to make that a reality. Thank you for your commitment to your own well-being. It has been a privilege to share this space with you, and I look forward to hearing about your progress as you continue to take control of your health, one conscious decision at a time. Stay resilient, stay proactive, and keep listening to the wisdom of your own body.